Good evening, everyone. Imagine scrolling through social media and feeling overwhelmed by the endless stream of comparisons, idealized images, and constant notifications. This may be the reality for a lot of us, as most of you probably have social media, but we do not realize the toll that it can take on our mental health. Social media has become an integral part of our daily lives, offering us many ways to connect with others, access information. However, it has raised significant concerns about the effects it has on our mental health and well being. While social media has its benefits, the overall impact on our mental health tends to be largely affected, and I want to talk about some of those things. And I want to talk about how it contributes to issues such as anxiety, depression, and I want to also highlight some of the benefits of having social media because it's not all bad. And I want to propose some steps that we can take to mitigate our social media use so we can also enhance its positive effects. Now, first off, social media does have its negatives. Uh, One of the unfortunate ways that social media can be negative is the use of cyberbullying, which could add on to emotional trauma, long term psychological issues. So we need to keep an eye on our kids, for instance, who are using social media and mitigate their use as well. There is the sharing of private information, things that you wouldn't want to be out there and things that could be exploited and used against you. Uh, Maybe private messages, screenshotted information that was between you and another peer. Uh, Unfortunately, revenge porn. That's also something negative that we could contribute to the negatives. Um, then social media also contributes to our anxiety, our depression, and the feeling of loneliness. Um, and Also, there's the factor of being addicted to social media. Some people would even go as far as to say that they are terminally online and they have trouble figuring out the difference between reality and the internet at this point. Um, so there is also that. Your time management may go out the window, and we always need to keep a close watch on our time. We may not realize how we are not using our time effectively, and social media can get in the way of that. Um, there's also the spreading of fake news and fake stories, or just really misinformation in general. Social media plays a big factor in that, especially around times when politics are starting to get ramped up. So we need to make sure we're not also always getting our news from social media because it's not always a credible news outlet. So not to mention you could also be missing out on a quality sleep because of the eye strain and the blue light effect, and the diminished social skills which we have seen, especially with the impact of COVID a couple years ago. A lot of people forgot how to be face to face with another person and how to communicate. So let's just consider the negative effects that social media may have. And research shows a strong correlation between the heavy social media use and increased levels of anxiety and depression, like I mentioned earlier. Um, this constant exposure to images and comparisons can significantly erode your self esteem and lead to mental health issues. For instance, like unrealistic portrayals of beauty and and success on social media that people make you feel like you're less adequate and less valued. Um, and you also have to keep in mind people on social media are faking it too. Fake it till you make it. And people are not really putting their real lives out there on social media like that. So they're only going to show you the good parts, and they're not always going to show you the bad parts. And additionally, social media, our studies indicate that social media can lower self-esteem, especially amongst teenagers, when the users are only seeing highlights of other people's lives, like I was mentioning earlier, like the positives, only the good things. It can, foster all these feelings of self-doubt and just inadequacy in general. And the perpetual comparison creates a toxic environment on an it perpetuates a toxic environment on your self-esteem in general, and we want to avoid that at all cost. And despite these issues, social media does offer some benefits. So let's go ahead and talk about that. One of the major advantages of social media is its ability to foster social connectivity. So you have enhanced communication through social media. You keep up with your friends and family that way. Um, you have more access to information and resources. Community and support groups. Like one of my favorite sites, social media sites, would have to be meetup.com. It's great if you're trying to find people that have like-minded um, interest, and maybe even support groups. So social media is great in that benefit. And also there's the sharing of creativity and self-expression, which we see a lot on TikTok and uh, Instagram, Facebook. And I don't know about you, but I personally like to see the do-it-yourself videos or life hack videos. So those are always great. Um, it makes my life a lot more convenient just to know these things. And there's also the job search websites like LinkedIn. So, that's a great website to reach out and network with other people to help you possibly move up in your career or find um, just a better job, or whatever you may be looking for. It's just a great way to network. So there's also the enhanced learning. Um, there's different pages that support things, that show you how to do things. Like me personally, I like to try to follow health pages and workout pages to help me uh, expand my knowledge on things like that. So I think that's a great benefit to it. And also just, yeah, like in general, health and wellness support groups. So it's a great way to just to find like-minded people. So it does have its benefits, and it's not all bad. Now, I think one of the things that we need to work on is mitigating our social media use. So um, I think one of the greatest things that I learned is that you can go to your settings in your phone and find a digital well-being option, which can show your screen time and monitor how much time you're spending on certain apps or social media. And you can actually use that to limit your apps, like by setting a time limit on it. And just limit what notifications you're getting from which apps. And there's a you also have to keep in mind too and ask yourself certain questions, like, is it a good use of your time? Is it a great use of your time to be looking at other people's pictures, to be doom scrolling, to be comparing yourself to other people? That's one thing you got to keep in mind. And let go of the likes. Don't do things for likes. If you want to post something because you want to share it and because it makes you happy. And lastly, I want to say avoid using it before bed. And so in conclusion, I think social media has both positive and negative effects on your mental health, mostly negative though. While it can enhance connectivity and raise self-esteem, or not raise self-esteem, raise mental health awareness, it also contributes to increased anxiety and depression. And I urge you to just be mindful of your use and your time with it. And thank you for hearing me. And I hope you guys all have a great night. Thank you.